up, everyone? Today we have another Echo. It suffering the same probable issues, but let's see here. It's a SRM-230. Apparently it runs. I'll be the question of that once I actually see it run, because you know everything runs until you actually try to get it start. But it's obviously missing the cover. I have a cover and the air filter. I have an air filter. I don't have the screw, but I'm not too concerned over that. I could find something to put in there. Another problem is, in order to really pull down on this trigger, there's a little release. And I just happen to have a release, so we need to take that off before we do anything, and then install that. I don't think it's too difficult. I think it's just a couple screws and it pops off. It's kind of a pain to put the switch back on, if I remember correctly, though, but it's not too difficult. And then, when kind of checking the condition, there's fuel about half full in there and nothing's moving, so we'll probably take the carb off and clean it at the very least. I'm hoping just have to clean it. I don't have another one of these. I, for whatever reason, completely neglected to buy another one. But I'm also trying to keep the cost relatively low on this one. The person doesn't really want to spend a whole lot of money on it, and you know, he's a pretty decent guy, so I want to make sure to help him out as much as possible. So I'm not probably just going to charge him just for his parts, and that's about it. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, so let's go ahead, get that installed. Here's the info. So go ahead and put you in the stand. Don't know what it is. For whatever reason, everything seems to come in cycles, which I guess makes sense, but the cycles that this year has brought are just completely weird to me. Like, I've never had to work on so many weed eaters. I don't know when you're watching this, but it's February. It's like the first... Oh, that holds it on the other side. The first weekend of February. Oh. Oh man, that one's not pleasant. That one I think screws into like plastic. Am I missing another one? Or it's probably underneath the handle, just like the other one. Yeah. I'm gonna disconnect the throttle. That literally did nothing, but I think we can spread it enough to get this out. Okay, so how did that go on there? It's like this? No. Yeah, there we go. It's not the proper way of doing this, obviously, but it gets the job done. I'm not a fan of working on handles and stuff like this. Make sure that's lined up. So, if the throttle is still connected, it would return. That's not. But as you can tell, it works. Put the screws back in, work on the carb. Onto the carb, like I said, I disconnected that already. In addition to the cover, I have an extra grommet and lines and air filter, so I'll be replacing all that anyway. Oof, that stinks. Yeah, when was the last time this was running? Seems like whenever you hear, oh no, it was running last fall. It wasn't last fall. It was like fall of 2005. Okay, take it over to the carb station. I think first things first, we'll take off this plate. These do have a little piece that likes to fall out when you take this off, so you have to be careful. And there's a screw over there too. And this is a JIS screwdriver. All these screws have dots on them. Wow. That's really gooey. When your gas is so bad it's sticking together like glue, it's a bad idea. Looking for my tweezers, or my pliers. This piece. I just dropped it. Put that off to the side so you don't lose it. This is usually a good way to tell right away. Excuse me. It's not as rock hard as I thought it would be. And yes, giggle, giggle, giggle. something that can make or break this cleaning that we're doing is this piece right here is plugged. It's a fairly decent chance of that. The unfortunate part is you don't really know until you've already done everything. Oh, yes, of course, there's that screw. It's going to make it a little difficult to remove. Oh. Bad fuel all over. Oh, my little plastic piece is already out. That's good. I'll save that. I usually don't like to put these in the ultrasonic cleaner, but I think I might have to. I'm going to put everything in there. Bring you back. All done. So now, let's put it back together. These square ones are a little easier because you have at least the ability to set it down on something that's clean. The other ones might have something on the bottom. It's just a giant pain sometimes. Come on, needle. Ah, the needle came off. There we go. Oh, yeah, no, it's still good. As long as that little spring is in the right place, the needle you can fool around with a little bit, but the spring is the hard one. And there we go. This is the old gasket. With a new diaphragm. Probably helps if I put it on right. Maybe. Okay. If you ever wonder what side that goes on, the smooth side faces the carburetor. It's fairly universal for all of them. So if you got a new kit, you don't have that, just realize that it's that one. Because those little flaps have to shut the fuel on and off, so you don't want a gasket in between there, otherwise it won't be able to do its job. Oh, yes, that's right. One of those. That's not nearly long enough. These little square carbs are actually pretty nice. You notice I'm not going in line when that little X pattern. Granted, there's only 4, so you won't really have to remember on the second screw. Because by the time you get to number 4, there's really only one left. Now, where do those pliers go? Clean up the pliers. I use them to help me with the fuel lines. See it in there. That's what we want. Okay, so that should go on like so. So it's not wanting to. I think one of the little guys is off. There we go. So I'm just going to put the screws back on, put it on the weed eater, and then we'll see what's going on. Now, a while ago, I scrapped one of these, but I realized after the reason why it was scrapped was just a low compression. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even post it, really, unfortunately. But I cleaned the carb, so this is identical to it. So if this one doesn't work, I think this one will. Because there wasn't a lack of fuel going to that scrapped one. The plug was definitely wet. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and put it on. Yeah, why not show all of it, you know? Thank you, airplane. Okay. So the short one is the return. So that one is right here. And this one is the fuel. That one, though, we might need to be shortened a little bit. Get on there. We'll push it on a little bit more when we actually put the carb on. Okay. So if you look in the back of the carb, you see this indentation. So we're just going to put the gasket right back on the way it came off. I soon realized that you were kind of in the way. Nice and tight. Now there is fuel in here. It should be shut. Let's see if it primes. Yeah. Seems to be doing exactly what it needs to. Don't see any of that to do. It's not entirely full. It's not barely anything in there. That's really pretty good. Okay. Now the air filter. This is where the sticker should have been, which we don't have. But this person is a landscaper, so I'm hoping he knows what choke is. And I didn't really find that great of an option for screw, but this one will work, I think. Maybe it's too short. Oh, it's working. Okay. I'm gonna clean up, put you over there, and we'll see what happens. All right. Don't know how well you can see in there. Got it running a little bit, as you saw. That's plugged. I can clean it out with some carb cleaner, screwdriver, just don't scrape it. Go ahead and do that, bring it back. Okay. Here we are. Have it put back together. Just gonna plug in the plug. See what happens. Essentially what that does is it chokes it from the wrong end. Exhaust can't leave. Okay, so it works. Sorry for the randomness of this part, but apparently there's a big birthday party going on across the street, and yeah, that's not easy to film around, especially when there's music. So, anyway, yeah, runs pretty good. The exhaust was completely choked off. That's why I had a hard time starting it to begin with, but after that, it was doing fine. I did kind of look into the cylinder when I was doing that, and it was a tad rough in there. It wasn't horrible, but I just don't see this having too much life left in it. But, you know, that's why he wanted it to be pretty cheap. He knows that. He just wanted a quick little thing. I think so far, side cover, that piece. He has a head. It doesn't have a head on it now, so it's a little hard to tune properly, especially since there's no weight on it. But, you know, it happens. But, yeah, I mean, I think it was a total of like $12, and the filter, let's say $16. So $16 for this isn't all that bad. It'll last for probably another season or two at least, maybe even more, depending on how much you use it. If you go around using it to clean apartment complexes and edging them the entire day, then yeah, it's probably not going to last too much longer. But this should be a problem. Okay, well, this should be the end of it. I will catch everyone on the next one. Have a good night. Definitely subscribe. Put a thumbs up if this helped you. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a good night.